The day I almost died, I learned something more painful than the accident itself. Sometimes the people you expect to save you are the same people who leave you behind. My name is Aacia Rutled, but everyone calls me Casey. I was 31 years old when one hospital room changed the way I saw my entire family forever. 7 days after a delivery truck ran a red light and destroyed my car, my mother finally came to see me. But when she opened the hospital door, I was gone. The only thing left behind was a small note on the pillow. By then, I already knew about the 3 phone calls. I knew the nurse told my mother that I was seriously injured and needed emergency surgery. I knew the surgeon warned her that I might not survive the night. I knew my sister Madison never answered the phone. And I knew my father, who was overseas for work, was still believing the story my mother created. But the note was only the beginning, because the truth I discovered afterward explained something I had felt my entire life. I had always felt like I was trying to earn a place in my own family. Before the accident, I was the person everyone depended on. I was a nurse at St. Bridget Regional Hospital. I spent my days caring for other people, and at home, I did the same thing. Every Sunday, I organized my mother's medications. I picked up her prescriptions. I remembered appointments. I solved problems before anyone asked. I had a small apartment, a job I loved, and a quiet life. But my family always came first. That spring, everything revolved around my sister Madison's wedding. The family group chat was filled with dress fittings, cake choices, decorations, and endless wedding problems. Even Madison's dog became a family emergency when he hurt his leg. Looking back, I realize everyone had time for everything except me. The one person who always made me feel important was my father, David. He was overseas working on a company project. But every phone call started the same way. "How's my girl?" Those words always made me smile. I believed he would always choose me. Then came the night everything changed. After finishing a long shift, I was driving home when a delivery truck ignored a red light and crashed into my car. I barely remember the impact. The doctors later told me my spleen had ruptured. I had internal bleeding and needed emergency surgery immediately because I was unconscious. The hospital called my emergency contact, my mother. The first call came from my best friend Nora, the charge nurse. She told my mother everything. "Your daughter has been seriously injured. She is unconscious. She needs surgery right away." My mother's response destroyed me. She said they were busy. Her sister needed them more. She never asked if I was alive. The surgeon called next. He explained that my condition was critical. Again, my mother refused to come. Then came the final call after surgery. The nurse told her that if there was anyone who wanted to see me, this might be her last chance. My mother simply said, "Keep us posted." Nobody came. Not that night, not the next morning, not the day after. I woke up 3 days later in the ICU. I had broken ribs, a fractured wrist, a concussion, and no spleen. But the worst pain was not physical. It was realizing that I had survived something my own family did not even witness. On the 4th day, Nora finally told me the truth. She explained every phone call. She explained that my mother chose my sister's wedding, plans over my life. Then she showed me Madison's social media. There were pictures from that same night. My mother was smiling beside my sister during a wedding appointment. Madison was celebrating, their dog was receiving attention, and I was fighting for my life in a hospital room. That was the moment I realized I had spent years showing up for people who never showed up for me, but one person was missing. My father. My mother had hidden everything from him. She told him it was only a small accident. She told him I was fine. She convinced him not to leave his work. So I sent him an email. I told him the truth. The accident, the surgery, the days I spent alone. The next morning, he called. The first thing I heard was silence. Then he said, "Your mother told me it was just a few bruises." That was when he knew. She had lied. He came home immediately. When he saw me, he hugged me carefully because of my injuries. Then he whispered the words I had needed all along. "How's my girl?" For the first time in days, I finally broke down. He listened as I told him everything. And then he said something I will never forget. I believed her because I never imagined I had a reason not to. A week later, my mother and sister came to visit. They arrived with flowers and balloons, trying to create the image of a loving family, but I was already gone. The only thing waiting for them was my note. I wrote, "I spent a week learning how to be alone. Tell Dad the truth for once, too late." I already did. After that, everything started changing. Then I discovered the biggest secret of all, the blood types. My father was O negative, my mother was A positive, I was A negative. That made sense. But Madison was AB positive, and that was impossible. The science did not match the story. Two parents with those blood types could not have a child with AB blood. For the first time, I questioned my entire life. My Aunt Carol eventually told me the truth. Before my parents married, my mother had been in love with another man named Frank Delaney. He was the person she truly wanted. But after he left, she married my father, the dependable man who loved her. Years later, Frank returned, and my aunt had seen enough to know. Something was wrong. The family secret had been hiding for decades. Ida, mother had built an entire life around a lie. Then she came to my apartment. She brought a check for $20,000. She said it was for my recovery and medical bills. But then she asked me not to destroy the family before Madison's wedding. That was when I understood. The money was not kindness. It was the price of my silence. I pushed the check back. I told her I spent my entire life trying to earn love from people who should have given it freely. I told her I was done, proving my worth. A few days later, I met my father at Mercer Lake. I told him everything. The accident, the lies, the blood types, the affair, the truth. He listened quietly. Then he said, "You were the only person who told me the truth in my own house. That made you the easiest person to trust." My father still walked Madison down the aisle because he understood something important. A father is not defined by blood. A father is defined by showing up. After the wedding, he filed for divorce. My mother lost the life she built around pretending. Madison eventually reached out and apologized. And slowly, we started rebuilding something real. Today, my father lives near Mercer Lake. I changed my job, I created boundaries, and I stopped trying to earn love. Almost a year after the accident, I needed another surgery. When the hospital asked for my emergency contact, I did not write my mother's name. I wrote, "David Rutled, father." When I woke up after surgery, he was there, sleeping in a hospital chair, holding a fishing magazine, with flowers beside him. Nobody called him. There was no emergency. He came because he wanted to. And that was when I finally understood. Family is not just the people who share your blood. Family is the people who show up when you need them most. For years, I thought I had to earn my place. I was wrong. The right people never make you audition for love. They simply choose you. And sometimes, losing the family you were born into is how you finally find the family you deserve.